This episode of Watch Out for Fireballs is brought to you by one of our patrons, Anna Bucheri, who is the creator of the Enter the Survival Horror tabletop RPG. It's a little Resident Evil, a little Darkest Dungeon, a little dash of Disco Elysium. It is a cosmic gumbo that is half off for the entire month of October. If you'd like to grab that, and I sincerely suggest you do, head on over to Adam, ADAM, Bucheri, that's BUCCERI.itch.io. My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8. We will alternate names there, which is a...
I will not alternate names. I will be deep in the cold ground before I call it Resident Evil Village.
That's just what it's stylized as in all the databases. So
no,
I just...
they changed it because they thought 8 would make it not a good jumping on point.
Maybe.
Newsflash, nerds. It's not a good jumping on point.
No.
It's a direct sequel to 7. Yeah.
But yes, this game is a survival horror game developed and published by Capcom for the PC and contemporary consoles in 2021. And this is a premium episode, so everybody's going to get the generalities, but the in-depth plot discussion and stuff is going to go for our patrons.
Yeah, and both sides of that fence should be meaty.
Yeah.
This is an executive produced episode, and we've already mentioned this, but we're going to mention it again. This is from Adam. Adam, who made the Enter the Survival Horror tabletop role-playing game that you can get at adam-bucheri, BUCCERI.itch.io. So that is their site there, and I've looked at that over. Dennis from The Level has played it.
Yep.
It is rad looking, and you should check it out.
Yes, please do. I have played another one of Adam's games. We did a birthday stream for Jala. I need to look at what the name was. The Harrowing. Yes, and that was very fun as well. Adam's very good at designing these rules light improvisational role playing game system kind of things. It's good stuff.
Neat.
Yeah.
So check them out.
Yeah.
In this game, much like 7, you play as Ethan Winters, who is trying to rescue his kidnapped baby daughter from this Eastern European village-type setting that has been seemingly overtaken by supernatural monsters.
Yes. And as we alluded to in the very combative, there's not usually that much back and forth in the game intro.
I will never say Resident Evil Village. Like, it is Resident Evil 8. Don't be stupid, Capcom.
Okay.
I'm your friend. I can't let you do this. Like, it just... Man.
Put down the bottle, Capcom.
I know. And their marketing is all like, no, say Village. And I'm like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's 8. It's a direct file. Like, what are you going to do for the next one? Are you just giving up numbers? It's going to get so confusing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to AVGN this shit, but like, what were they thinking? No.
Yes, but this is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7. And this is kind of a mechanical and narrative escalation from that game. It kind of ends up being a little bit of a grand tour of the series to a small degree. And
that's exactly what I think it is. Like, I feel like this is for the Resident Evil for Resident Evil fans.
Yes. And necessarily that entails some really goofy stuff from, let's say, 5, 6, and a little bit of 7. You got to be down for some goof because, well, we'll talk about it. We'll laugh about it, but it swings. Like maybe not for all the right fences, but boy, it's going to swing for them.
It's the obvious, the biggest influence and touch point is obviously 4, both in terms of, and we'll talk about this more at length, but there's obvious mechanical and setting things, but even the tone.
Yes.
Whereas 4 though did that as a line. It started serious and got goofier as it went. This really drips and drabs all over the place. And, so it kind of ends up being a little bit more whiplashy in a way that I think like makes this less cohesive, but really fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, as a fan to like, oh, we're in the scary part now. Let's hang out in the scary part.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the escape part. Let's go to the escape part. It feels like a tour of Resident Evil things that I love.
Yes.
So what is not to like for someone such as me? Yes.
For someone who has dabbled in all of those modes and enjoyed them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a buffet of things I like. It is a first person perspective like 7, but however the enemies are quicker. Much more capable than the slow molded enemies. And it is kind of an action take on 7. It's not quite like a straight up FPS by any means. You're still slow and awkward, but it's much more actiony than 7.
Yeah. You're not, snapping from cover to cover. You're not doing any kind of like jumping or 360 no scopes and stuff like that. It is still, it'll feel familiar to you, but it is going to demand more of you. Narratively, Ethan has undergone military training. You have access to a wider variety of actual weapons, not just weird things that Lucas kludged together.
Yes. Yep. And the block and parry that we had in RE7 that you could conceivably get through the entire game without using ends up being much more important.
It does.
Enemies are much quicker, so it's harder to do, but because you're under so much more pressure, you really want to try to mitigate that damage.
Yeah. Enemies are smart. They're going to work together. Kind of the marquee enemy that you're going to deal with the most throughout the game are these lichens. They're werewolf-like creatures. And they will, attack from above and behind. You want to parry them because they will get you into a grab and allow their buddies to get into more advantageous position against you.
Well, and and we keep saying parry. It's a block and then you push them away.
Yes,
it doesn't do damage like a Dark Souls parry. When you do this, you'll push away surrounding enemies as well.
Yes.
So it's not only is it damage mitigation, but it's also crowd control. It ends up being very important.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things from Resident Evil 4 that directly came from this. So much so that I remember I first started hearing about this around the same time I heard about the remake of 4. And the first screenshots of this I thought were going to be, I was like, those two rumors were rumoring the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, obviously the setting, but also the mechanics. You can barricade some of the doors by putting things, and you have a very generous inventory Tetris.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Briefcase.
I can't. So I did a new game plus on this, just cause, I know what the base game is like. I wanted to get through a little bit quicker with a new assault rifle that I could buy. Never really ended up running out of space in that. Only had to do a couple shifts, once or twice, but it is there. And it is a little bit, there's not as much focus on resource management in this, both conserving use and also making sure that it is lined up perfectly right inside of your inventory here.
Even the first game, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't run out of space,
right?
And it's early Resident Evil games. The way they did that space kind of mechanic was by having key items count in your inventory. RE4 got rid of that, but required a much more extensive arsenal. This game does both of those. That or key items do not take up space in your inventory. You have the extensive arsenal. You just have all the space in the world. Yeah, I think it's there literally just to evoke the feeling.
Think so. Yeah.
You can organize this if you want. Remember RE4? This does not use a lot of the things from RE4. This does not use to equal effect.
Yeah,
it's more of a amusement park with RE4 decorations on it.
Yeah.
In some ways.
As we're saying this, I'm almost wondering, I probably should have like fired up the Village of Shadows difficulty, even though I generally don't go for the high difficulties. I didn't do Ethan Must Die or whatever in the original. But I would not be surprised if constricting the inventory space was something that they did to you in the higher difficulty.
I don't think so. I think when I've seen people play it online, like I've watched some challenge stuff. And things like that. I don't think that's really engaged with. I think that, and if they did, it would be balanced out by the privation.
Yes.
You'd have less inventory space, but you'd also get less stuff.
Yeah.
There isn't what I do see in those speed runs and stuff is messing around with the adaptive difficulty, that modifies enemy drops. So if you get hit, if you're doing bad, the game will give you a leg up. Things will get easier. If you're doing well, the game will get harder. Again, not quite done as well as RE4, but still a really neat, I like this kind of thing.
Yeah. One thing that makes it a little bit kind of weirder than RE4, which would drop grenades and drop different kinds of ammo, and then also, your herbs or your healing items and whatever, the crafting system from RE7 comes back in this. So, sometimes you'll pick up an herb, sometimes you will pick up a chem fluid, or just metal scrap. So it's a bunch of like adjuncts that will potentially get you to ammo at some point.
Yeah, and we talked about this in other games. I feel recently, kind of this year, the idea behind that is you craft what you need at the time. Like there are shared ingredients. I like that system. It's a cool idea. This kind of simple crafting will work for me. You can also, in this one, you can buy new weapon modifications, and upgrade your weapons at the Duke.
The Duke!
We have a merchant. He's delightful.
I love the Duke. He's so good. He starts out, kind of menacing. He's a very big fella, both in height and in girth, and he seems just kind of like way too amused by the situation. Especially, I mean, there's a plot beat early on where like he is not offering any sympathy to Ethan, who is rightly horrified by what he's holding in his hands. But he ends up being a real solid bro. Spoilers, and just a very winning vocal performance. That I'll do a plug for this. That VO actor is on Cameo, and he will do the Duke voice for a buddy.
You kindly got me a Dukeogram.
I sent you a Dukeogram for as a housewarming gift. Yeah,
it was very very nice. He was very sweet.
Yes,
in it, and it's interesting because he's so obviously having the merchant there and kind of where he shows up. Another callback to RE4.
Yep.
But this one is a character.
Yeah.
He's not this weird part of the world everyone forgets is there and pretends isn't there. Like he originally was going to be one of the four weirdos, one of the four lords, and he exists. Other characters talk about him.
Yes,
and stuff.
And he talks about other characters. Like you end up selling him the crystallized parts of the different characters that you kill, and he will remark on them as you go. Yeah.
He's also a chef. This game, of course, has the skinning animals trend.
Of course.
Of current video games where you kill pigs and you walk up to chickens and gangland execute them for chicken crimes. In order to get upgrades this time, you take them to Duke's Kitchen, you kill it, we grill it, and he'll make you various European, like if you were to order them in a restaurant, you'd be like, I don't know if this has sweetbreads in it.
Right.
Kind of meals.
How many glands are present, please?
Yes. Yeah. But this is how you get permanent upgrades to Ethan. Yeah. This is not a challenge.
No.
At all. These guys show up on your map, the animals, and you just go shoot them. They're largely defenseless. It's a lot like the fourth episode of Chernobyl. But it's just there for some RPG progression and like a task.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of choice involved in when you use what bits of meat to upgrade what stats.
Yeah. And there are primo meats that are used in some of the higher power recipes. and you get those, like you'll find a drawing that is like of this legendary fish in a particular location. The treasure hunts return here, and this is kind of one of those. I just go like, oh, I recognize that place. Let me go and just kill that goat. Let me just go and execute Black Phillip.
There's only one of these in the world. Let's go kill it. Yeah. You execute the last of a lot of things in this game. You end a lot of family lines. It's really, Ethan Winters, absolutely extinction scourge here.
Oh man. Yeah. But that replaces kind of the upgrade coin system that you had from RE7 in a way that I enjoy, and that's worked in with, buying consumables from the merchant, and also like weapon upgrades and modifications and things like that. It'll be really, really familiar to you if you have played RE4.
Yeah. And again, the economy, the way it works is a way that evokes RE4 without emulating it exactly.
Yeah.
Treasure hunts return, and the general sense of an economy returns, but it is not tuned as tightly as RE4. It's much more generous.
Yes.
When you come out of one of these hubs with your boss treasure, you end up with a huge mountain of money and pretty obvious things to spend it on. There are upgrades to weapons. There are different versions of each weapon, but just to a much lower degree.
Yeah.
Than 4, to where I was never really making choices around this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that. And this sounds like a criticism. I love this game. But there's part of me, like, I recognize there are ways I think this is a little bit worse than 7. And I still like 4 more. And it's because of things like this.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me that feeling. I know I'm doing the thing, but it's not exactly as vital to pay as much attention as it was on 4.
Yeah, at least on normal difficulty, the lack of meaningful choices mechanically does end up being a little bit of a bummer, putting a damper on things.
And maybe, again, on Village of Shadows, but if your game is meant to be played on the highest difficulty like that, I don't think that's my problem.
Nope.
You said normal. I'm normal.
Yeah, no, I've played the other games in the series, but I don't know. Kind of seems like normal. Yeah, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely going to start there at the very least. So,
yeah. Speaking of starting someplace, the thing that it kind of stands out to me most about Resident Evil Village is its structure. Whereas Resident Evil 7 kind of evoked the sense of the original game, mainly taking place, at least for the first part of it, in one large house that was a puzzle box space, and kind of like veering out into other facilities as the game went on. This is a little bit of its own thing. You visit the domains of these 4 lords of this village here. Each of them kind of has its own distinct play style emphasis, and all of it's linked together by the village itself, acting as kind of your the place where you backtrack and see things change and interact with things differently based on things that you've picked up.
Yeah, it's kind of a Metroidvania feel to returning to the hub.
Yeah.
Those ended up especially on the second playthrough, and it'd be my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah.
Like poking around houses and checking out secrets that are newly revealed to the village.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that, like, the different gameplay modes that you're going to go through were largely present in RE7. They were told as a linear story, they're chronologically separated rather than spatially separated from a hub. So it'd be like, it's time for a flashback that's going to be, military time, that we're going to do, instead of here where that's just like an area you go to, the factory, to do military stuff.
Yeah.
It ends up feeling a little bit different, and the different areas are more explicitly demarcated as Resident Evil modes. Like you'll recognize each of these hubs.
Yes.
From previous games, like things you do in them.
Yeah, so the castle will feel like Resident Evil 4 to a certain degree. So will the village as well. And also like a little bit more of like the classic space. That's the most like puzzle box kind of space. Benevento.
Dimitrescu?
Yes.
Benevento.
Benevento, it is the escape room stuff from RE7. Specifically a couple of the sequences in the main game, but also there were some DLCs that were pretty similar to that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. The castle has a lot of RE2 make energy to it as well. So the when you're going off to these hubs, you find different keys and maps in these hubs that you can take back to the village, which allows you to get this kind of little advantage in the resource power curve, which is really satisfying.
Yeah.
You're also meant to play and beat this many times.
Yes.
As you play it, you acquire battle points, which can be used to purchase items for subsequent runs. And you can also unlock bonus content, cool model viewers. This is the first console generation where I give a shit about model viewers. Previous to this, there wasn't anything that great. They'd show them to you in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
It's just a
I'm
little
not going to
toy.
lot of detail here.
Yeah, I'm not that sure is that thing. I mean, and specifically in Resident Evil, where like it's cool monsters, like this is kind of, it's really one of the only ways to get a real good look at that baby. Yeah,
like, not moving.
I want to get or obscured by the darkness, right? Like I want to get a good look at like all of the loving care that went into making this as upsetting as it is. Yeah.
Really fun.
Very fun. So yeah, I went through, it was nice being able to, kind of get a leg up. Also like subsequent playthroughs, like I started with a bunch of weapons, so like starting with a shotgun makes the early village actually a lot easier, stuff like that. So, that was a good time. I in hindsight, I kind of wish that I would have gone up to hard, on my second playthrough here for the show. But also that might have been frustrating and taken more time and colored my experience negatively. So who knows? Yeah.
And right now we're both in a space where frustration is a expensive currency.
It is. Yes.
I'm not looking to be frustrated right now.
No. There's also a mercenary mode here. I found it to be a little bit lacking compared to recent mercenary modes that I've done. Specifically, like, it's pretty fun in 4 and 5. Like 5's mercenary mode is actually pretty good. Yeah.
It's similar to the 7 one, which I didn't like as much either.
Yeah.
The more importantly, what's a box quote for this is a multiplayer mode called Resident Evil RE:verse that was announced, and there's a demo alongside the main game, but this got delayed until 2022. We did not get this yet.
Nope. Yeah. This is a gorgeous game. If you play this on next gen systems, like this is a real, it was one of the first like made for PS5 games that I played on my PS5 outside of Demon Souls. Ray tracing, there's some really just beautiful surfaces in this, except for Moreau's area, which looks like N64 trash for some reason.
You take a little jaunt into Turok Town for Moreau, not in terms of draw distance, but just there are parts of it that look okay. But it's definitely the least. It's one of the less developed areas, kind of in general. On all axes. I have found that too. I was not impressed with the PS4. In terms of graphics, over the PS5, or PS3, I am impressed with the PS5.
Yeah.
Demon Souls and this both look incredible on that system. Like I'm noticing the difference, which it's rare for me to really care about that. But this is a really, really good looking game. Yeah.
I was really happy to be playing this on a PS5 on a 4K OLED screen. Like that was just gonna like, oh yeah, this is as good as it gets right now outside of like a trade show. This is cool.
Do you remember on some show recently you asked me if I had a 4K TV and I couldn't answer because I don't pay attention to that stuff?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
So I was sitting there and I read what it shows on my TV when I turn my TV on.
Congrats, bud.
I've arrived. I don't know anything else about it.
No.
I'm not going to know its stats. Don't know the numbers that signify it. No, but I know that about it.
What's the response rate? What's your contrast ratio, buddy?
Those are fake.
Do you have localized dimming?
That's some total biscuit draw bit distance shit. I don't do that.
I don't care about that. All that I did was I went on Wirecutter. I was like, what's a good TV that'll last me for fucking ever? And I got that one. So
no. The writing and story of this are fucking all over the place.
It is so hard.
There are parts of it I have immense affection for. There's also some of the worst stuff that happens in the Resident Evil series. There's a boss fight in this that I think is the dumbest thing that Resident Evil has done. And I'm including like the boulder punching shit.
Yes. Yeah.
that we just covered last year.
Mm-hmm.
And not always good dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of it is real good dumb.
Boy.
Some of it is pretty fucking obnoxious dumb though.
Boy, picking
it really goes back and forth.
Picking the right kind.
And when it's good dumb, it's fucking delicious.
Yes, the right kind of dumb and the right amount is so important. Because dumb is not inherently disqualifying in and of itself.
The trick, though, that people forget is it's not also inherently qualifying.
Right.
Something cannot just be good because it's dumb and outlandish. Like you have to. It's a specific flavor.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about those as they happen. That's going to be the bulk of the second half of the episode. But it is a really plotty game. There's a lot of plot.
Yeah.
Going on.
We're getting, and you're getting to know a lot of different characters too. You know, very kind of diverse from each other. And it is weird to say, but this is very much of a piece with RE7. Not just because of the broad campy vibe. It is very much escalated from 7, but it's, you know, it feels like it is playing in the same key, let's say. But also like thematically, there's something about this mold and fucked up families.
Yeah. Like, this is a different kind of family.
Yeah.
You know, these are wilder and we're out there. The point of comparison I always think about is this feels like a Metal Gear enemy crew.
Yeah.
To me. But I like them more than I like Metal Gear enemy crews. You know, we get 4 real fucking weirdos. What if there's some weird guys?
Yep.
And here they are. And they're great. Each one of them I enjoy. We got the premier one, the one the internet absolutely went crazy for.
Yeah. Moreau, everybody's favorite. Just went wild. Lots and lots of fan art and cosplay of the man. What can't determine if when he is not a fish.
Yeah, the puking fish man.
Yeah.
People went crazy for his tits. It was what? Wait, I'm getting a note.
Sorry, producers.
Yeah, so Moreau's great. He's pretty undeveloped.
Yeah,
he's got a voice actor, like a voice performance that you have to kind of adjust to. Everybody else is a little bit more interesting. We got Lady Dimitrescu, who we talked about, and she is the big vampire wife / mom that the internet went horny for to a degree that I haven't seen since Bowsette.
They went so horny for what do they call it? Big titty vampire mom. They ignored her hips, which I think is a real big part of it too.
She's an attractive woman, except for all the veins that are growing out of her breast and
and also the ghastly corpse-like skin. Yeah. But like the internet got so horny for her that Capcom not only published her exact height and the exact dimensions of her feet and shoes, but also like released all of their concept art and like what kind of fabric all of her clothes were made of, down to the underwear itself, which is only like viewable from very specific angles. You know, like it is incredible. She is incredibly horned in her presentation, and it's very satisfying when she turns into a hideous, like she's the first one that turns into a hideous big bio monster, which we knew was
almost
going to happen.
as if to say, "Masturbate to this, you nerds."
Just try it. I challenge you.
I did.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna be like, I did.
It wasn't easy.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did. It was Village of Shadows mode for masturbating. The thing that bummed me out about her being super horned out and all the horny discourse is that she owns.
She what?
She owns.
Oh yeah, she does.
That part of the game is great. Like she had such a fun performance. Like she's so menacing and good. Just her being really tall, as opposed to immediately processing that into erotic fuel. I thought it was kind of scary. You know, silly me. In a really good way. Like, I'm like, man, that's fucking uncanny and weird.
The way that she closes distance between you, like way quicker than you expect her to. She functions. Not to go too deep
under doorbells.
Yeah. Not to go too far into like details on it, but she functions very much like a Mr. X for a good portion of that stage. And it's an emergency when she appears because, you know, unlike Mr. X, who will like mostly lumber and then sometimes charge at you, she by virtue of her height can casually saunter and close the distance to you way faster than you think.
Unless you go to the table that's in front of her fireplace, which you can circle around forever. Mm-hmm. And she will just do, it's like two people who are about to get into a fight, like, oh, we're going to do it? We're going to do it. We're going to do it, huh? You're going to catch these hands? We're going to do it for just eternity. She can never catch you if you're around an object. Again, my thesis of this being more about evoking than emulating Resident Evil's greatest hits, she still exists the same way that Mr. X does on the map at all times, but there isn't the like audio cue stuff. You just run into her at some scripted points, or if you happen to run into her, like she kind of homes in on you, but it's not about being quiet, trying to fight things quietly, etc. Wants to give you the feeling of Mr. X without emulating Mr. X.
Yes.
But she's great.
Yeah.
I think second in terms of bigness is we got Heisenberg.
Oh, yep. We got Heisenberg, who looks like an unkempt Nicolas Cage and sounds like Jeffrey Combs to me.
Mm-hmm. Jonas Venture Jr.
He does. He does have a little bit of a patrician like, let's say, Connecticut accent, something in the upper Atlantic.
Ethan Winters, you're gonna help me with Miranda, that bitch.
Yeah,
she's such a bitch.
Yeah,
I hate her. She's a bitch.
Hey, Heisenberg. We asked you to say it, not celebrate it.
Yeah, it's Heisenberg. You sound like you're talking about a stepmom, and you are clearly like infinite years old, or at least 40. Like you should not be talking like this.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how much I liked him. It is so scenery chewing. Mm-hmm. Like everything this guy does. And then he's a werewolf with Magneto powers for no real fucking reason. What is going on?
His mutation gave him a very specific name of an electric ray from Japan that he developed a mutation of. It's used to really cool effect. I don't know how scary it is. But also,
it's Magneto. It's not scary at all.
Yeah.
It's not even remotely scary.
Yeah, the terror of him is that he's like a Dr. Frankenstein kind of guy. He's making an undead cyborg army,
Yeah. And they're not scary either. They're just cool looking.
Yeah. There's some body horror kind of associated with it. A little bit of like Half-Life 2 Stalker kind of energy to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And his whole part is the military zone.
Yes.
So we got the Resident Evil 2 zone, the military zone. Moreau is the puzzle zone. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the puzzle navigation zone. Mm-hmm. And then the sleeper hit, Donna Beneviento, who represents Ghost and Poltergeist and has the horror, the escape room horror zone.
Yeah. Great stuff. I mean, the biggest scare in the game,
Oh, yeah.
Like the real unnerving. Like the week that this came out, people speaking in hushed tones about House Beneviento, like when everybody is really committed to not saying exactly what it is, but just like wait till you get there, you'll know when you see it. That is good anticipation to me.
Yeah, that's real fun.
It didn't disappoint. And also, like, I really like that stuff from RE7, like that close up first person adventure game stuff,
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. When she's not doing that, she's an evil Hot Topic doll.
she's a little Annabelle. Yeah.
Yeah. It's extremely Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like, I would be a better daughter. Like it's very it's a lot. It's
Daddy's
not
a little
scary,
monster. Yeah.
It's very Clown Wife's little monster. Like shit.
Yeah. But a spooky doll is spooky. I'm not going to act like I'm above it.
Yeah. The other kind of big character here, and this was revealed in the trailer and stuff, Chris Redfield is in this.
Yep.
And they add some retcons. So this is not only just evoking different parts of Resident Evil, this is kind of explicitly tying the Resident Evil 7 thread back into the fold.
Yes. Yeah. they didn't, it was like, okay, RE7, this is a reboot, like say bye-bye to all of the continuity snarl and all that shit that nobody but Cole and a few other weirdos care about. No, but that was just on break. That was on vacation. Because RE8 plugs us right back into the snarl, with specifically some, some choices that they make toward the very end. This, like RE7, kind of has a lore dump before the climax at the end.
Yeah,
that you get to. This worked for me, but that's because I'm not turned off by seeing the progenitor virus mentioned.
Yeah, it's because you're sick.
Yeah, it's because I need help.
Yeah, I take some joy in that stuff, but there are point specific tap out things they do for me. I'm barely tolerating the BSAA. The twist they're doing with them in this, I'm just like, why do that? Because they're just making another umbrella.
Yeah.
Blue umbrella is annoying to me. And then the thing that wears on me about Resident Evil lore is that each time they keep going, this is the origin of where things came from. Like they did that with Code Veronica and they did that with RE0.
Yep.
And now they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Who really gave them the ideas for Resident Evil 1? Well, It turns out it's the villain of this game. Weird.
Yeah.
I can go along with it as part of the sampler platter.
Yes.
Like it would be a little weird to me if they didn't include that to me, because this game is about evoking every Resident Evil game.
Yes.
So they have to kind of, invoke some 5 Revelations, BSAA stuff.
Yes. That needs to be part of the Cosmic Gumbo.
It is a cosmic gumbo.
Yeah. But you have Chris back.
So.
Like he does not have his RE7 design. They specifically made him look a little bit more like an older, bulkier version of the old Chris design. Bad Caesar haircut and all,
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's an extreme idiot.
Oh god,
in this. A lot of emotion, like just needless emotional harm, would be solved by him saying like 3 or 4 words that he chooses not to say.
That's the thing that frustrates me most about this. Actually,
it's really obnoxious.
Chris's Chris's lack of communication. Yeah,
there's no reason for it, and then a character later calls him out on it, but he never explains it. He never justifies. He's like, "Yeah, I guess that was a mistake."
Yeah,
and it's like you just caused untold suffering for no reason.
Yeah,
I think I said this last time we did a Resident Evil game, we did 5, but like, it's why, if you would have told 1997 me that the Resident Evil games would develop in a way to make me not like Chris Redfield, like I would be very surprised.
He smokes though.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the coolest thing in the world to me. In 1, he was like extremely cool. And then now it's like, man, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Whenever he shows up, he's just ready to suck. Just increasing the suck.
Yeah.
In this one, he does, the reviews are, he has his own section. So he has a 5th section that we use, to explore a different Resident Evil mode. That is, there are mixed reviews on that. I'm not a big fan.
No,
Chris's military corner.
I don't find it cathartic.
And I think Hound Wolf is fucking dumb.
That is a bridge too far. That is hat on a hat, clown nose, stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Chris just constantly, how much pathos are you going to wring out of him losing units and just like his men?
Right.
It's so transparent and dumb. And it's like it was in 6 where Chris like was partying with Mini Chris. Like,
him and his son. Yeah.
This Beef Boy and Beef Son and their adventures in RE6.
Yep.
It just it's silly. It's super silly. Kind of a villain in this.
Yeah. I mean, in a way that is like specifically evoked. The box art, it is, half Chris's face, and then it's like merged with a lichen face, making it seem like he is going to be like the architect behind all of this, that he will have been like bitten. And that, I mean, spoilers, that doesn't end up being the case. Chris makes it out of this one to continue again and whatever they do next. So.
Would also, if I was just looking at the cover, I would not only think Chris was the main character and they returned to a werewolf, but I also think he was the main character.
Yes.
Of this.
But they can't show Ethan's face. Ethan gets like a lot of like emotional characterization, but they cannot countenance his countenance. So
what's wild is they did make him a face
Did
you never see it.
did they? I thought that ended up being like an urban legend. Like that was an artist rendering. Like somebody just said like, oh, I just imagine they looks like Griffin McElroy, and people just kind of ran with it.
They made a face. So there's a scene where he's face down when the bad thing happens to him.
Okay.
And you can't see it, but if you take the camera around to the floor, you can see it. Also, there's a little trivia with the end of this game, which I'm sure you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers in 3, 2, 1, skip forward 15 seconds. They're using his model for the body that walks up at the end after the credits, and that model has a face as well.
Right.
So there's 2 places you can see the Ethan face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will see, but it's very funny that because of their decision to keep Ethan again from this false notion that you would identify more with him if you didn't have a face.
I don't identify with Ethan whatsoever.
No, he's kind of dumb.
Him being the main character, this was also a little bit of a bummer when I first heard about it. Spending more time with this dipshit.
Yeah.
And boy, bad things happen to his hands.
Oh boy.
So,
yeah. So we can talk about the development here. The development began 6 months before Resident Evil 7 shipped. They felt like they had a good handle, on people liking what was going to be there. They had released the demo at that point, but it also kept them from making a lot of decisions very early on about RE8. So they just kind of focused on the early development on saying, all right, like it's gonna be first person, but like let's cast backward and bring forward these elements from RE4, this beloved entry in the franchise, and just kind of like work on that until we figure out what works from 7, right? And so what they pulled forward was a bunch of stuff from like the castle and the Hookman concepts for RE4. Namely the supernatural elements. Like there were some early like concept art of Ethan, or the main character like wielding a sword on the roof of a castle fighting a big gargoyle.
Yeah, some Dark Souls shit.
Yeah,
and it makes sense for them to be looking back at RE4 at this point, given that they probably already had they already had the RE2 make in mind. Things like that. When RE7 was people loved it. They're like, okay, let's make this a direct sequel. Let's make this Ethan, so no swords on rooftops.
Yes.
The team's goal was twofold. Make RE8 a horror movie you could play and a theme park of horror. And I would say that it does both of those things.
Yes, it is very successful. And while RE7 aimed to make you feel trapped, claustrophobic, there is nowhere to run, evoking horror in that way. This is kind of saying, let's make everything so unpredictable that the player is on edge about what might be waiting for them around the next corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone was wondering what that loud bang was, my cats pushed a card table into me.
Ooh.
I don't know how they did it, but hard enough to like make that noise.
They inviting their buddies over for some hold'em.
That's what it seems like they're doing. I'm going to paint a portrait of it.
Okay.
And see if I can finally knock that dog's playing poker out of the charts. But yeah, it was just real weird. It felt like I was hit by a man.
Huh.
Just there, and I looked over. It's just my cats.
Huh.
So,
okay.
So they wanted to have this kind of variety with a number of enemies and locales based on Gothic horror specifically. So Gothic horror, European folktales, and every individual house harkens back to a Hammer horror kind of classic.
Yeah. There. So you got your Frankensteins and your Draculas and whatnot. There were a number of concepts and kind of plot flourishes that were there before being pared back. I just kind of grabbed a few of them off of a trivia list. There was going to be a second playable character. There's a prominent villager that you rescue early on named Elena, who would have stuck around. Like early demo footage and things like that showed a female hand carrying a lantern around. So the idea that she would have some segments is definitely a possibility.
Keeping the tradition of you play somebody else for a while. Instead, they do that with Chris in this game. Ada Wong would have been in there, but they thought that would have been too confusing. They wanted to tie it back, but we're not ready for Wong.
Yeah, when Ada shows up, that's a different kind of thing. She would have showed up dressed like a plague doctor too.
Yeah, just for fun. She loves fashion. Moreau's Reservoir would have been more fleshed out. It would have had its own enemies. It does to me feel like the least developed area by like a lot.
It's the demon ruins of and Lost Izalith of this game.
Yep, it's totally the demon ruins of this. So it makes sense that there was cut material there. And then a secret thing about this game, or not secret, but I think the boss fights in this game are not great.
There's only like one or two that I like. Yeah.
There are a couple I like, but there are a lot I don't like. Specifically, Lady Beneviento's, I think, is dog shit.
Yeah.
And when I read the original concept of it, that you would have shrunk Ethan down to fight in a dollhouse, I was way into it.
Yeah.
Like, doll Ethan? Like, that's the kind of stupid I can get down with.
Yeah. Now, doll Ethan I can get into.
Totally.
And Paul Rudd, it sounds like the Ant-Man climax to me.
Totally. And that was real fun. A fun part of a pretty mediocre movie.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that we ended up getting what we got, which is, kind of like assets everywhere, everybody.
Yes.
Speaking of assets everywhere, the Castle Dimitrescu section was not initially going to be vampires. Their initial concept for it was to fill the castle with, and I quote, hundreds of witches.
Yep. Rob Zombie, like House of 100 Witches.
And also hundreds of witches is my exact kind of dumb. What are any of the individual witches like? I don't know. What are their powers? I don't know. We got them in quantity. Matter. We got them at Gordon Witch Services.
Yeah, it's a nightmare come to life from a Portland Craigslist ad. Do you have what it takes to live in Hag House? There are hundreds of witches, no Scorpios, and we don't share tarot decks.
No.
It's rough stuff.
If our crystals cloud up, you're out.
Yep. Yeah. That's what that sounded like to me. But it also would have been really funny.
Yeah.
I like what we got as well. But
yes. Yeah. But also hundreds of witches is just a very fun phrase.
Yeah. Ultra coven. I would assume like any religion, they would eventually move on to like mega covens, like how there are mega churches.
Mm-hmm.
Where Satan would just like use a Jumbotron.
Yeah.
To talk to like just kind of the Walmart of covens in different towns.
Yeah. To be streaming on scrying pools everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like whatever the prosperity, gospel,
instead
but
of
for baby's blood.
Yeah. Instead of mustard seed faith, it's Eye of Newt faith. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could see it.
Yeah. So Resident Evil Village, like any number of games we've talked about that have come out recently, this was a COVID-19 casualty. I didn't realize that development was halted entirely for a whole month, which is ridiculous when you think about like even a 3.5 year timeline. That's a big chunk of it.
That is a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
But good for the workers.
Yeah.
No.
It's better to be safe than to give me a Resident Evil game on time.
Yeah. Yep. Capcom was hit with a plagiarism lawsuit by director Richard Rophorst, claiming they lifted the monster design from his 2013 movie Frankenstein's Army.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of did. I looked up some stills of Frankenstein's Army, and the monsters in the factory do look real similar.
Mm-hmm.
But they also kind of look like a gritty reboot of Airman from Mega Man 2.
Yeah, I've seen that comparison as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does feel like it's combining airplane parts with zombies doesn't feel like it's a trademarkable idea. But the monsters do look real similar. Yeah.
I've also seen like some specific comparisons of textures and stuff. The IP stuff around the development of Resident Evil 8 is actually a little bit more complicated than I initially thought. There are some claims, but it is hard to corroborate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Specific artists other than this director have filed grievances, but without knowing, I can't say. So
yeah, we're not taking a side in it.
Nope.
So
the game reviewed well. People really seemed to enjoy it. Expectations were high after RE7. And so, if people differed, it was basically just, did they appreciate the changes or not? And it sold really well within the first 4 days, shipped enough to become the third best-selling game in the Resident Evil franchise, tying the 2019 remake of Resident Evil 2, settling this in as kind of the new renaissance for the series.
Yeah. And this is, they've announced that they're doing a DLC for it because of that hit plan, but it feels like they did not have a plan from the start because no details or anything has come out about it.
Yeah.
And that clock's a little bit ticking.
A little bit.
Like now would be a good time to announce, like you don't have to release it now, but if that doesn't come out within a year of the game coming out, I think some of that fire will be gone.
Yeah, a little bit. That would be like a perk for the Game of the Year edition or whatever. That announcement was very funny because it was at E3 earlier this year, and it was Capcom's show, and all that they had was like just a still text that was like, oh, we understand you like Resident Evil 8, so we decided to make more of it. Details soon.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys didn't expect that people would like Resident Evil 8, dog?
It is really like it's really interesting. Like what, you do get the sense that Capcom, for a company that, is artful, right? Like they're not crassly commercial with this series. They do chase trends.
They do. Yes.
Pretty consistently with the Resident Evil series. Mm-hmm. That's what 6 was, like them trying to make their ultimate Resident Evil, things like that. Like they do a lot of chasing what they think the market will do well for them. So it makes a kind of sense.
It does. But
we're going to spoil everything in the second half of this. I definitely think you should play this if you like Resident Evil games. I think this is a really good one. For me, it's like number 5 or something in my ranking, 5 or 6. It's not near the top of the charts, but that's pretty near the top of the charts given that there are like 15 Resident Evil games.
Yeah. So I also would say yes, play this.
Yeah, it's fun. And if you were too scared by Resident Evil 7, there's only one part that approaches it in fear.
Yes.
So it is not nearly as scary. It's also a little easier, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
On normal. After the intro, I was not low on resources, and I was doing great.
No, the game takes care of you.
That's going to be it for the portion of this that is for everyone. We appreciate you listening. If you'd like to hear the entire episode, head on over to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.
Please do. You can get the full version of this episode and also all of our previous premium episodes. There were some good ones. You can go and check those out. One of my favorite ones here recently was Prey. That was a fun episode.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah,
it's a good one. And you also get a bunch of bonus shows and you support your boys. We really appreciate it. If in either case, we will see you in a week with the Dispatch.
Yes, we will, where we will announce the Winter WRPG.
Indeed. Until next time, take care.
Take care.